I'm just driving on site on Tuesday, and so far I have picked up a bunch of supplies for the ADU slab building, like the form building, and also components that you need to put in the slab, like insulation and I don't know, these things called dobies that hold up the rebar and blah, 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 a bunch of little things. So now I'm gonna meet the plumber and give him the set of plans so that he can do his rough plumbing for the ADU. Also, Jay and Mark are gonna come today and help me with some site cleanup, and then also distributing and like more prepping for that concrete, because hopefully we're going to pour the footing for the slab tomorrow, pending the inspector, and hopefully the inspector. So this is the ADU footing that Jay and Mark dug out by hand in the earth, and we're going to pour the concrete right in this earthenware footing. It's kind of sweet because although it takes a lot of labor to dig it out perfectly, then you don't have to use form boards and do a lot of backfill later. So we've got rebar in there, which we did last weekend in the freezing cold rain, and Jay and Mark really finished, and this is more footing. And the plumbers are here. They're digging their own trench for the waistline so they can go underneath the slab, which we'll hopefully pour next week. Framers are in the background there, and Mark and Paul are out front doing just a tiny bit of cleanup before the inspector gets here, and then they'll come back here and we'll put some gravel in this inside this where the slab will be, and work on some elevations. Okay, I just got back from the dentist, which makes this side of my mouth feel absurd. It's not exactly the best time to be making videos, but I'm back on the job site, and Jay has been diligently crushing it, even though I know all he wants to do is go to Mexico. So him and I are gonna dig some little pier pads over there. That's where part of the ADU lands. And then we're gonna fix up some of the parts of the footings that the inspector didn't love, that we can fix and have him come back out tomorrow morning in time to pour. This is Jay at the end of the day. I feel like today fucking sucked.
It was not in the top 10 days.
Of suckage or of great?
Life.
It was in the lower 10. Just obnoxious. We did get this second layer of rebar in, and it's floating, or it's like hanging from wires on all these boards that you see. And Greg, the plumber, and his crew did the plumbing underground, which is awesome. And you can see all of these stickers are holding up those stupid rebars. It's just an obnoxious detail work before you do concrete. And all the string lines are in place. That's gonna help us later, but I'm just walloped. I've only been working out here since 1 o'clock, and it's 4:30, and it's just cold and wet, and it sucks. And Jay is a trooper and a half, because he's been out here all day since 9 and doing his best. I don't know why. We really don't even pay him as good as he should be paid for how incredible he does his work, and he's just awesome. Thanks, Jay. On a bright note, the framers have the 2-foot cantilever in place, which is cool. These beams that extend out over the whole house hang out 2 feet off the back. And once they get this floor system and the beams in place, they're gonna slam the plywood on top, and then they'll be rolling onto the floor.
And then have another hanger right here shooting over for this one.
Yeah.
The only thing these bolts being in your stair area, what are you going to do about those?
What do you mean? Bolts in my stair area.
Well, normally drywall, smooth wall right there. You're gonna have stairs coming up and you're gonna have bolts. I mean, it's not a big deal.
What am I gonna do about that?
Support, because that's only 2 inches.
I'll get you a regular 4x12 hanger. I'll get you a couple 4x12 hangers for those.
Okay.
Those two.
I got 2 over there.
Okay, those ones are gonna be shot in there, so those ones are gonna use a regular hanger on. Okay.
Good morning. It is Wednesday morning and I'm here on site at 6:30 and nobody else is here. It's dark outside and I'm here so early because yesterday we didn't fail the inspection, but he passed it over to today because of a couple minor things that were not in place, and so that was what Jay and I were working on yesterday afternoon. And so now I'm here to set up this canopy tent and table so that we have a dry space to work in, because yesterday was such a shit show with the plans. They just were a soggy mess, that we need that. And I'm going to call the inspector at 7 a.m. and see if we can pour pending the fixes that we did. And that will determine whether or not I can call off the concrete. Hopefully I don't have to call it off. I have 7.5 yards coming at 10 o'clock, and Bigfoot Mike is coming also at 9 o'clock to pump that concrete into the backyard to the ADU. So I'm just praying that this inspector says go ahead and do it. I have a shop vac of all things. I'm supposed to shop vac the water out of the footing, which is just like crazy absurd, particularly because it's been raining since 3:30 this morning, and I know that because I listened to all the raindrops fall. I could not sleep last night because my brain just wants to explode with all of this construction stuff. There's just 1,000 things to think about, and I love it. It's so enjoyable, but I just sometimes cannot shut my brain off. So here I am. I'm going to gear up in full rain gear and get all I shit out and ready. I have this massive, like, 100-foot tarp that I'm also going to try to erect over the footing so that we're not getting pissed on all day. We'll see how that goes. Alright, it's 9 o'clock and we just had the inspector come after I shop vac'd all of the footings out with water and got everything that I thought was necessary done. And he came and looked at the plans and notice that the plans call for number 4 rebar. They call for 3 rows of number 4 rebar. And I apparently misread the plans and put 3 rows of number 3 rebar, which is an 1/8 inch smaller rebar, and means that we failed the inspection. We had to call off the concrete. I cried, literally. Not only in front of the inspector, but also in front of my employee. Mostly just because I'm tired as shit and have been out here vacuuming water from a footing in cold weather since 7 a.m. So now we're going to fix more of this footing that's just like sloppy fucking dirt mess and get that much better with some more gravel, and replace all of the number 3s with number 4 so that we can call in for an inspection tomorrow and pour these footings on Friday. And in the meantime, I'm going to book a flight to Mexico and never ever ever build a house in the wintertime again. It's getting very, very real on the job site. I am digging in dirt and gravel with Jay and Effie trying to do this footing, and the framers are just carrying on, and I'm just waiting for the end of this day. Okay, I'm done. It's like 12:30 and we just sent Jay, Mark, and Efren home. We've tarped off the back and made the footings as perfect as they could possibly be. And so we'll have another inspection tomorrow and we'll pour on Friday. The framers are doing excellent though. Despite my chaos in the back, the framers have made it to the 3rd floor, so I'll go take a video of that now. This is the 1st floor, 2nd floor, and those big beams carrying that rim joist is the 3rd floor. And I think they're going to lunch right now. But you can see inside, or just barely, I can see the sheeting is on the roof or the ceiling.